like I slide through the ventilation road. You made me want to dance, 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 put me in a trance and rhythm, captivate me soul. My beauty I behold, that's all my man. I will, yeah, I will, yeah, I will, yeah, I will, yeah, oh, Daniel Simon, I will, yeah, I will, yeah. Ready, ready, action, ready, 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 action, ready. Good evening and welcome to the Feminine Drive. How are you all this evening? First, I must say, welcome to the Gael viewers. You're probably saying, hey, the Feminine Drive, we have a new show on. Well, the Feminine Drive started last year, September, on my channel, Warrior Empress YouTube channel. But thanks to Errol, Fabian, Uncle Errol and the Gael family, the Feminine Drive is now on Gael TV. Much, much, much thanks and appreciation to the entire Gael family. So to all my viewers from on my page, we over by Gael now. Yeah? Good. So, how was the carnival? Yes, we had a carnival. How things went? Before I get to the two gentlemen, I know you all saying, but wait, men on the Feminine Drive? Well, I get enough pong. They say, but what happened to you, Warrior? But like, you don't like man hour. You only bringing a set of woman on your show, so you ain't bringing no males? I said, take all your time. Take all your time. We're going to bring males on the Feminine Drive because we need the balance, right? Females can't exist alone. It's feminine and masculine. So we have two gentlemen here with me. But before I introduce them, I want to send out condolences to the family of Granny Luces. She passed yesterday, I think it was yesterday morning. So I want to say on behalf of the Gael family, our heartfelt condolences. And if it's one person that demonstrated to us that age is just a number, was Granny Luces. And she beat me in a 10K, but next time I will get all of that story. Granny Luces beat me in a 10K. I'll never forget that, right? But she ran a good race. She ran a good race and she inspired many. So we have with us, let me direct my attention. We have we have two top musicians with us. And you will know why they're with us in a bit. But let me introduce them. We have Mr. Theron. So they say rank have its privileges. So I'm going with the most senior first, not so? Right? We have Theron Shaw, right, who is a guitarist extraordinaire. He is a producer. He is a jazz composer and a music teacher. You're still a teacher, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Well, sort of. All right. But you go explain what is he sort of, right? And sitting next to him, we have Rodney Alexander, who is a bassist. I just used to say a bass guitarist, but you know, he's learner. A bassist. He's also a jazz composer and a producer. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Feminine Drive. Well, you make history, you know.
First men
on the Feminine Drive. Yeah, well, you make history, you know. They say only bringing women. But, you know, the program, the Feminine Drive, is really geared towards issues as it pertains and surrounds women, upliftment, empowerment, etc. You know, but nothing wrong with bringing men. Because, as I said, we need the balance. So, for the viewers, because they know why they're here, what we are looking at is... I don't know why they're laughing. So, you all know why you're here?
Yeah, we have
But,
we have to talk.
You know, we just came out of the most busiest time of the year in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Carnival. We didn't have an official carnival. It was small, it was scaled down. And we know why, because of the pandemic, COVID pandemic. But the carnival just ended. And carnival is a time we would all agree that most people earn a living. The creatives, that's our time for earning. Regardless of if you are a dancer, a vocalist. You know, one of our soca artists, Bungie Garland, said it so well in a song. Everybody just earn something around carnival time. But because of the COVID pandemic, that was curtailed, not a little bit, you know. That was curtailed plenty. And it affected the earning power of the creatives. So, okay, carnival done. Today is the Friday after carnival. How we going forward? What next? I am sure that conversation probably taking place as we sit here now. And it was taking place before. So these gentlemen, with their experience, collectively, we probably have about... Listen, we have a wealth of knowledge. These two gentlemen, collectively, we maybe have about over 40 years experience sitting here. So they came in first to have a discussion on the way forward to you know, give of their learnings, of their experiences on how we could approach going forward, because a lot of people are still affected. And let me stop saying a lot of people. I want to zero into the creatives, because the conversation is specific to that. A lot of creatives being affected, you know, tremendously, especially those who live by the performing arts. You know, we have persons who fortunate to have a paying job, a monthly job, and they do music on the side. But what about those who live off of music, like myself, right? It is challenging. And some people would say, but Warrior, how you do it? But I have to do it. So how do we go forward? We have different scenarios happening. We have the scenario that was created for Carnival, where artists would have a space that at half capacity. They started at half capacity, so you didn't have your full audience. So we could say you don't start off at a loss already, in my opinion, because there is half capacity. But the musicians ain't getting your half. So the musicians still have to rehearse full 100. You're smiling. I come in, you know. The musicians still have to rehearse full 100, right? Because I had shows within the COVID, and I could say the musicians didn't shortchange me. They still have to learn your music and to give a good product. Because at the end of the day, John Public not saying, boy, it's COVID. It's all right. We go forgive a mistake. John Public judging you hard. Yep. They ain't had time with what you're going through. You have to give a good product or come off the people's screen, right? So we have that. You would put a price to your show, and you could have the show at a venue. Let us deal with that scenario first, because I have about 3 different scenarios I want to paint, right? Let us deal with that scenario first, and how you know, I want to get the input from you all in terms of whether you think that is, whether it makes sense. I'm not talking layman terms, because this show is a relaxed show, eh? We relaxing. You think that really making sense? I want to hear from you all.
Who going first? I will jump in first.
Well, okay.
So, go ahead.
No. Well, okay. Well.
Like we gotta put
go ahead.
Like we gotta put a name in a hat.
So listen, as I said before, I have to take a different view, somewhat. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at this thing has affected everybody on the face of this world. On the face of this planet, right? Some people more than others.
Correct.
Right? Most people would have lost some degree of income. Most people. People who that percentage, one or two that have a deep pocket, they will probably be now looking at reserving things that they would have done normally, right? Two, we can't go anywhere. We can't go anywhere. We're locked in.
True.
Unless you have some special privilege where you could go in and out. People, you don't have that. People don't have that extra money, cash to spend. If you do, a lot of people have lost jobs.
Oh yes.
We are in a business that is called entertainment. We entertain. It could be intellectually stimulating or it could be party music. But at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Where does that fit on the normal person's scale? Okay, and a parent, mortgage,
food, transport,
right? And then go down the line, school books, school thing, computers for children, da 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 da. After all of that, somebody might say, if they have, well, could I do this? Could I go to you can't go to a restaurant per se, you could, but could I have entertainment? Now it comes down to the musician. Musicians are part of that scenario too.
Yeah.
Food, rent, mortgage, school books,
everything.
Computer, everything.
Yeah.
How does the musician work in that? I mean, the reality is there's not much out there to even get from in the first place. Cash.
I understand what you're saying.
Right? Mm-hmm. I think there has to be a sensibility where it's not a musician thing, it's people having loss of employment. That's the reality. So the musician has to have some sort of consideration. Well, look, this is real. COVID
this is what we're dealing with.
This is what we're dealing with. Should you take a cut in your pay? How are we going to deal with the fact that, you're not going to have the revenue that you were making in 2019, because 2020 was like a dash.
Yeah.
We here, we survived, thank God for that, but
nothing was happening.
Right?
Nothing was
happening.
happening.
And for 2021, as I was preparing for this show this evening, I was looking at some forecasts, and one of the things that a financial institution was saying that the entertainment industry is one of the things that looking like it will have some type of rebound. Right, they said travel, the food, beverage, and accommodation, hotel stuff. But we can't. I don't know if you could really bank on that.
And when is there a time when?
Right.
It can't predict anything.
Exactly.
Before you say anything, I'm going to say it and then I'm going to stop. So I was looking at things that happened in January. Mm-hmm. The two biggest things that happened outside of Trinidad, I'm just looking at how the thing moving. Super Bowl, 19,000 people. Some of them, I guess everybody was vaccinated or had a COVID test, right? Yeah. 19,000, which is like, whoa, how much people, right? That's real people.
But like plenty people,
right?
19,000.
No, and nothing in, most musicians in the States are not working. Most of them are literally not working. The other thing that I saw was in Haiti, they had a jazz festival, Pop Jazz, at the end of January. That was kind of strange. It was strange because...
Haiti could be described as a strange...
No, but it was kind of strange where they had all these big acts performing. Mm-hmm. I looked at the social distancing. It was
so.
Right, mask wearing was... Right? But I'm not hearing about any super spread or... I mean, they have a big unrest going on right now, but I'm not hearing any
coming out of that.
Right. So I'm just saying the possibilities are there. You have to take a chance. Are you going to step out?
See that
80%, because 80%, 50%, how much? You're going to take a chance with your finances. How much are you going to do that? How much are you prepared to... I'm asking rhetorical questions. Are you prepared to lose? How much are you prepared to gain? Those are questions that we have.
Those questions can only be answered individually. But Rodney, let me hear your take on it now.
So I'm going to be a little more practical.
Remember what I think I hear in between there. He said, remember what he said? Are we going to take a pay cut? Are we going to how are we looking at it collectively? Right? It's not an individual thing because it didn't affect individuals. It affected everyone.
Yeah, everyone. So I'm going to be a little more practical. I think in most discussions, people forget that they are full-time musicians. Mm-hmm. So there are people in Trinidad and Tobago who live offer this thing called
Correct.
music and slash entertainment. And before the pandemic, it was paying a lot of people bills. Like
That's right.
people was living doing
Like
this
yourself.
thing. Like myself, full time.
Right.
So when the pandemic hit, it was a reality check for me and a lot of musicians around the world. Now I understand the question in context of should a musician still demand the full salary
Pre-COVID.
pre-COVID. I think it's unfair too. However, you should not sell yourself short.
True. True.
It should have some agreement where both parties could reach. You should have a threshold that you should not go below, because
True.
I know a lot of people will take that and exploit
advantage.
musicians.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So I think.
And before you go on, I just want you viewers to know you would have an opportunity to call in. You have an opportunity to call in, but I'll let you know when that time is. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people will take that and just hire musicians and think they could pay musicians anything because we're in COVID.
Yeah.
And out of COVID, it's like gas price. It go up and never come down. So outside COVID, they would still think they could hire you and pay you whatever.
I understand that.
So
True.
we, as musicians, even before COVID, I think we had a problem with how to charge, because a lot of musicians was being abused by a lot of people when it comes to being finance, being with the parent and all this kind of things.
Yeah, the musician, and it's something we have to. It's 2021, right? In a lot of situations, the musician is the last person to get paid.
Correct.
Tent man will get paid. Sound
Caterers.
man will get paid. Cater man, the food man, the lights man, and then.
I just do good, boy.
And then. So in that context too, you know, the musician has to have a stronger say. There's so many articles being published now about the value of art and music in the society.
And
not necessarily in Trinidad, but I'm talking about in the broader sense.
This is a worldwide thing. But before we, I don't want us to miss the point, because as I said, I opened talking about the scenario of operating or doing shows in a venue that you had to start off half capacity. Remember, half capacity, you could say that your profit gone there. Because let's say the place capacity is 300, full capacity, you have to start with 150. That is what they're saying now, half capacity. So your profits done gone already. You start off at a loss. So that is why that is why I'm asking you guys, seeing that is what the artist has to deal with, right? How viable is that, or it makes sense? Because you still have your overhead expenses. The musician ain't dropping the price. The background vocals ain't dropping the price. Nobody else. But you start off at half capacity.
Right. But the thing is, I think everyone, and the pandemic has shown that we have to think outside of the physical space we are in. The digital world. I read an article where it says the digital platforms now. It's come like industrial revolution. This is like it says the fourth in the industrial revolution. So it's like almost. I think for any artists doing anything now,
virtual is the way to go.
You see this virtual world, and it's, that word virtual is kind of like, a kind of weird word, but the virtual world means that I can reach people, maybe 150 more people outside of the physical space I'm in. That is where I think that is where the push has to be, because this is my personal view, and I want to take a disclaimer one time. This is my personal view, right? I feel that even as the year progresses, towards the end of the year, I think I believe things are not going to go back to 2019. I believe that the virtual world is going to be part of our real life experience. So any productions would have to to take into consideration even more so a virtual presentation, meaning that you're not only playing for 10, 15 people or 100 or 200 people, you're playing for that other audience that you're exporting your music to.
In other words, and I'm dealing specific with Trinidad and Tobago.
And for money too, because
well, yes,
a lot of that virtual thing is...
we come into that. But
it's virtual and we just take it and go with it.
But I support that in that the performance artists, as I said when I started the show, whether you're dancing, vocalist or whatever, must start setting our minds out of Trinidad and Tobago. So that when you perform, you're looking at a wider audience. If you limit yourself to just the Trinidad crowd, the Trinidad and Tobago crowd, therein lies the challenges. When you're doing virtual, is the world.
Exactly.
You don't know who looking at you, right? So before we go any further, we're going to go for a commercial break and we'll be right back.
Hey. Just because you cannot jet away doesn't mean you cannot get away. I know you want to get away because the lockdown every day have you stressed out in every way. But here's what you can do. Spend a night at any participating guest house in Trinidad or Tobago and qualify to win free groceries and a weekend for two with breakfast at another property. Here's how to win. It's the Gael Staycation. Here's what you do. Book your stay. Spend a night. Take a picture of your room the first time you see it. Take a picture of your breakfast. Take a picture of you having fun. Well, not in bed, of course. And make a 2-minute video telling us how great the location is. Send us your pics and your video, and you can win groceries for 6 months and a weekend stay at a different property or the same one you enjoyed. This promotion runs from February 15th to May 15th. The more places you stay, the better your chances to win. Visit Gael Staycations on Facebook for more details. Talk Out the Box with Jeline, Sundays at 3 p.m. right here in the Gael.
So welcome back. We're back inside the Feminine Drive and we have with us Mr. Theron Shaw and Mr. Rodney Alexander. And in case you just join us, the conversation or the discussion is how do we go forward in the creative arts, in the performance industry, in the entertainment industry. Carnival just finished. What next? How are we going forward? Creatives have to live too. We have bills to pay. What we doing? What we saying? So that is the conversation. And we looked at performing in spaces that have capacity. That's how you start off. But we were saying the musician in Ghana half rehearsal. So he go still charge you full price. The background vocals still have to learn all your songs, right? Everything's still full 100, but you start off at a loss already as the performance artist because you're going in at half capacity. Whether that making sense or it ain't making sense. Mr. Theron Shaw say, here what's going on? I think virtual is the way to go. Because you're reaching, you will know who's sitting down in Scotland watching you. Or in Switzerland, and he, so Rodney, I still want to get some out of Rodney, in terms of, as I said, the scenario I paint, the half capacity thing. Put yourself in the position, you doing a show, right? Because most times you are supporting the artist, right? But see if you could switch your role a little bit, and you putting on a show. So you are to see both. You know all the thing, all the tralala. Yeah, musicians to pay, all the thing, right? What's your thoughts on that?
So, I've done a couple shows before.
Right.
So firstly, I will not do a show if I cannot budget to pay my musicians and my cast.
All right.
One, if it is that I have X amount of money, I will try my best not to make the cast too big,
Right.
so that I will not be under pressure. I will try to facilitate the funds that I have to work with.
Good advice.
But at the same time, I don't think it's fair for musicians to charge the same amount of money that they were charging pre-COVID.
Right.
So at the same time,
Well, you
musicians...
remember Rodney said that, eh?
Yeah, I said that. However, as I said, it cannot be the straw that breaking the camel back.
True.
So it cannot be I adjusting my price
And everybody else.
and everybody else being paid properly.
No,
Now, musicians,
no.
people underestimate how important good musicians is to your show. Now, you could get musicians that you could adjust your price how low and they will take the gig. No, but if you want the real guys, the guys that would come,
Cutters.
and the guys that will ensure that you have a good product at the end of the day, you should be happy to pay these guys, because at the end of the day, you want a good product.
True.
So
True.
at the same time, it should be a discussion where we can meet somewhere, rather than you saying, I can only pay this. And it shouldn't be that.
So what you're saying, in a nutshell, is there should be dialogue between the artist, the person putting on the show, and their team, his or her team. And we're dealing with humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have the conversation that we reach some level where, everybody good with it. That should happen.
I think so.
Well, it sounds fair to me too.
Yeah, I think so.
Because at the end of the day, I always say there is the human factor, supposed to be the human factor behind the title, behind the musician, behind the vocalist. You have to appeal to that human side. And I support you. You ain't trying to choke out nobody, but, you work within a reasonable amount. So I like that. I think we deal with that fair. So we on the virtual scene now, right? And I want to support Mr. Theron show in that I find virtual makes sense. So we have the virtual platform where you have two options where you could ask for donation, you're performing, you ask for donations. Now, remember when you ask somebody for a donation, you can't tell them what to give you, because you're appealing to that side of them to understand the situation. Just now, I know you're revving and you're ready.
Because
Hold your thought. You're revving and you're ready to go. I want to paint the scenario proper for you, so when you lash me now, right? So, and then, I did a show recently where I put a price to the show. And I must tell you, I am not easily scared, but I was a little antsy because you don't know what the feedback would be. You're not sure how people would respond because, come on, I know that I'm playing down myself, but I ain't at the top of the rung. The Warrior Empress working still, a jamming, they still moving up. So it's not like I have 50,000 followers, so I'm not sure, but come on, I going in, right? I running in the battle. What else to do? Sit down and complain? So there are persons also who saying, well, why charge a price? Why charge a price? Why only must charge a price? Why not continue asking for donation? Because it's not the same thing. It's not like the same thing when all you're out there. This is virtual. So why charge a price? We have that. Yes, we have that. Those conversations taking place too.
Wow, that's a strange conversation. We live in a democracy and people do have the right to have an opinion. No, and I don't mean it in a sarcastic way. I'm just saying for me.
Okay.
But the thing about it is that why I don't necessarily like the donation thing is because now there's nothing wrong in asking for a donation.
True.
The reality is, I was listening to this song. I was in my car, and the artist is Ben Harper, and he was talking about being on two sides of an object. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you're on one side, you don't see the other side. You're on one side, you're looking at the thing.
True.
But the person on the other side have a different view, right?
Correct.
You get a donation, you have a show with 50 people, and you get a donation from 45. and you get a paid from 5. Different. The
Yes.
person donating, great. The person on the other side of the coin getting donation from 45 of maybe $5 and 5 paid. It's a different scenario. I believe that if you want something, you should pay for it. That's just me. If you want something, pay for it. We understand that the scenario is difficult for everyone.
Right.
I personally believe if you want something, if you don't want it,
You have a choice.
right?
So I want to just jump in a little bit. The city, I agree. However, I think in Trinidad and Tobago,
In Trinidad.
the environment a little bit different. In that most people in Trinidad and Tobago, most don't have a credit card, or most wouldn't be able to purchase an online ticket kind of thing.
Yeah, well,
I know Terry can't tell. Go ahead. Let me hear Rodney.
So
So you think, okay, one, they don't have a credit card. Go ahead.
so I mean, and I have experienced the both. I experienced the donation thing, you're asking people to donate, and then I've experienced the ticket system. And the fact is, and next thing is that a lot of people purchase the ticket and they share it.
Oh yes, the scheduling.
So
well, yeah, you have to have certain locks and
yeah,
so
yeah.
go to that.
So that is our next thing we had to work with. So I understand, I agree, which I agree, that we should really have something in place where people, instead of viewing, because you will have 3,000 views, and at the end of the day, you only have
You get
$300.
about 20, oh, exactly.
300. So at the end of the day, I mean, and there's a lot of work go into in that production.
My point exactly.
So I agree we need to have something in place where people could pay to see the show. However, presently, I don't think we have the structure in place for us to be able to go that route.
we have the structure.
Right. So let me just throw in a little 2 cents there as an artist who do it with the chat. And what you're saying is very real. A lot of people don't have the facilities to use the online. And those who have you see, girl, you see that online thing, me, I like to use my card, and people taking money off your card and right, the whole 9 yards. And that's the right, right? You have to have a card to use PayPal and all them things. So at the end of it, we capsuling it to say you have to have the facility to pay for the online ticket, right? Because I tell you something, we're really unique in this country. So that you had to drive here and drive there to pick up cash from persons who say, look, I ain't using my card, or who don't have their card. So that is another thing you have to look. Exactly. So I drive in south and drive in Port of Spain and driving in the east to pick up cash from persons who really want to support you, but they don't have. But let me just say this. You talk about sharing the link. That, I understand there are ways to fix that, where the link could tie back into your YouTube channel, so you can't share it, right? When you get the link, I don't want to embarrass myself to use no technical terms, so I'm going simple. They said it is tied back into your YouTube channel. So which means persons who desirous of watching the show must have a YouTube channel.
Or email address.
It are plenty people to have a YouTube channel. Believe it or not. So there is another problem. And are we going to continue, we in this part of the world, because outside they're a little more, they're moving with it. Are we going to continue with those archaic excuses, or are we going to get with it and step up the game? And this is what it is, and we have to step up the game.
My point exactly. So we in 2021, one of the things that I read over the period of time was the pandemic has shown us that things have shifted. I think the world system, however you want to look at it, positive or negative, has been moving towards a cashless system, whether you like it or not.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
There are certain things that I don't like, but that's the reality. This is where we are. I think the entertainment industry and its supporters, public, have to start moving towards that. I was just reading an article today about something that I didn't know about the Eastern Caribbean central bank has something called the institute. They put out called digital cash. And I was like, whoa. And they had it in Grenada. I think Grenada was the first place
Grenada?
first place to use it. See, 2 days ago.
So we have
digital. No, we have it digital cash. So I'm just saying, in the industry, musicians, promoters honestly have to have great more options for people to play. I suffered because of that. I had a production at the end of the year. I lost basically, but because I didn't have enough.
I remember that thing that was with Ruth.
Yeah, I didn't have enough options to pay, and I was a little bit maybe too rigid about how people should pay, because I really believe I feel that we have to get with the program. Virtual, like it or not, is here to stay. Football in England, they were saying, somebody was saying the other day, a commentator, that the glory days of football may be over, in terms of even when they get a vaccine, how much people are going to come back to a stadium. A football player is going to be earning that salary over and over and over in this period. Yeah. I'm just saying, so everything has changed. We have to get with this digital
way of life.
realm. Yeah, we have to perform. I think we have to learn to perform for TV. We used to do it before, but the audience right there. Well, you know what? The audience might be 1/4, 5, 10%. You have to perform. You have to perform for the screen, for the TV camera.
But Rodney,
right? That's just me.
And this is. I am not here to say who wrong and who right. It's a discussion, because I'm sure there are persons who viewing would agree with Theron.
What are you talking about?
Might agree with me, might agree with Rodney. Yeah. So, Rodney, tell me something. We, the creatives, dictate the entertainment industry, right? In other words, for example, Carnival was cancelled because why? Masqueraders, the human element, was unable to go on show. Mm-hmm. So Carnival was cancelled.
En masse.
Right. Well, yeah, but not just mass, but
I mean, in a large
group. So Carnival was officially cancelled because of the lack of the human participation. So I use that example to bring it back to say, basically, we control the industry. If you go a fete, the DJ could be playing the best music and nobody in shop at the fete. You going home, party bus. So I use that analogy to say, what you think about if creatives come together, well, you always will get people who against. That is alright. But what if the majority, if we push that head where we say, listen, let's put a price to our craft. We have in our shows, let us put a price to our shows. Whether you charge $5 US, you charge 10, I charge 15, you charge 20, that's not the issue. Mm-hmm. People free to put whatever price they choose to the show. But if we share that common thinking, then the public would not have a choice. They would just choose who show they want to pay it over.
Yeah, I think funny enough, well, on the way here I was looking at was Brass Festival 2004 with Invasion.
Wait, you're going way back.
Wow, I went way back there. I was sending the link for me and I was like, wow.
The amount of people, one.
The energy, 2004.
That was when it used to keep in PSA ground?
PSA.
Whoa, wow, yes.
PSA. And I was looking at that, PSA.
Some people may not like,
some people may not even,
What's PSA? What is that?
And I was looking at that and I was thinking to myself, ironically on the way, and it's funny that you asked that question, I was thinking, people really underestimate the power of the music.
Yeah.
A lot of people focus Carnival and all these things on the mass and all these things, but the music is what make Carnival good or bad. Because we had some Carnival, I don't know if you could remember it, where the Bajans came and dominated
Bajan invasion.
Carnival in Trinidad and they call it
Allison.
Everybody was TC, Rupee, Allison, all of them just came and dominate Carnival in Trinidad. and
is it because you would have toured with Alison Hines for some years? I find you know. Tell you it's about 40 years experience.
It's a vibe. It's vibe. It's
I know
a
you would have
vibe.
told it Alison Hines for about, what, 7 years?
Yeah, about that.
So wait
about
now, let me ask you something. When the Bajan and them descended on Trinidad, when it was the Invasion, you was part of that? You was playing with
I was
Alison?
playing. I wasn't playing with Alison. I was playing with Invasion at the time.
Okay, alright.
But
It's a vibe.
I mean,
It's a
we
vibe.
as creative, we in Trinidad have to understand how powerful we are, and how much we influence everything else around us.
True.
And I think once we understand how powerful, we will start appreciating who we are and respecting
Well said.
us
Well said.
as musicians / creative or whatever you want to play.
Well
But I'm
said.
talking from a musical
Point of view.
point of view, a musician. Only when you understand your value
Yes.
and we understand the value of our music, then other people will respect us and value our music the same way.
I like how you put that.
So,
Yes. Because if you don't, they tell you, listen, if you want people to enjoy what you do or value what you do, you first have to demonstrate that, you know. You have to demonstrate that you have to send that energy that you value yourself, you value your craft, and it is an exchange of energies.
without going for, I don't, sorry.
No,
sorry,
go ahead. Because
So,
there's a fellow who talk much. When
Don't
you
talk
get
much.
him to talk, you
Yeah,
just have
yeah,
to let
yeah.
him talk.
So, just a few, like 3 days ago, my uncle, he had this records, them long time records where you put on and you put the needle on.
People
He
still
have
have
a
that?
whole, he have like about
LPs you're talking
3,000, yeah, 3,000 records.
LPs are back in.
And he was playing some stuff with Kitchener, and Kitchener singing reggae, and he was actually playing calypso music from its original form.
Wow.
From where those Jamaicans used to come Trinidad. And he was giving me the whole history. Where those Jamaicans used to come Trinidad and study our music.
What
And
happened now?
look what happened. They have a fresh appreciation for their music, which is a bite of our music. And we
Correct.
don't even understand and appreciate our music. We
Listen,
literally...
you opening up.
Yeah, that is a different story, but...
You opening a kind of words, but let's go for a commercial break. I like how the conversation going. Let's go for a commercial break. Stay tuned.
Hey. Just because you cannot jet away doesn't mean you cannot get away. I know you want to get away because the lockdown every day have you stressed out in every way. But here's what you can do. Spend the night at any participating guest house in Trinidad or Tobago and qualify to win free groceries and a weekend for two with breakfast at another property. Here's how to win. It's the Guitarist Staycation. Here's what you do. Book your stay. Spend the night. Take a picture of your room the first time you see it. Take a picture of your breakfast. Take a picture of you having fun. Well, not in bed, of course. And make a 2-minute video telling us how great the location is. Send us your pics and your video, and you can win groceries for 6 months and a weekend stay at a different property or the same one you enjoyed. This promotion runs from February 15th to May 15th. The more places you stay, the better your chances to win. Visit Guitarist Staycations on Facebook for more details.
So we back inside. Yeah, man. With the two men from South men.
Nah,
You're not from South? Where you from?
West.
West
sorry.
Boy.
Yeah, I originally was from Belmont and I
Oh, so
live
you
in
stay in the West? Well, I'm feeling good here now.
He sound like a South man or what?
Oh, God. Listen. Here now. I just get real pong, you know.
What's that?
South musicians are the best. South this, South that. I'm feeling real good here from the West. Well, I just left East temporarily. I'm back in the West just because you say that. So we're back inside and we're going to open the phone lines. Check on the screen. You would see the number. You're free to call in. Add to the discussion. You don't have to be a performance artist because listen, the patrons contribute to the entertainment environment, you know. We can perform, well, I'm going to say we can perform to an open space, but you know what I mean. Even if it's empty space and virtually, we still performing to you all at home. So we need you all, we need the input, right? So the phone number is there, call us. If you're calling, turn down the volume on your television, so we wouldn't get the feedback. So, Rodney, where were we? You was
I was talking about the calypso.
talking
Yes, I
about
was
your
there.
uncle giving you the history of
yeah.
reggae. Back then, Jamaicans coming here and, you know, taking a cut on you. You say it right, don't polish it up, because we know the history of that. And they now offer reggae to the world. We have to go into that. We know how big it is. And we still here as if we didn't appreciate what we have.
I think that is our biggest problem, because I remember my first trip to Jamaica. You could have turn on any random station and hear the music playing, and they believe in their music, believe in it. In Trinidad, you had to search through the stations to find calypso music. Not even calypso music. You would probably find something local. I don't even want to say calypso music. But I think that is our problem. We don't appreciate. I think once you start believing in what you have,
True.
and that's the thing. The guys like Kitchener and Sparrow, these guys was able to take it from one place to the next.
Yeah.
And I think the younger generation, which is us, we never really take it further. Yeah, I just say us because I came in and I've been around a while, so we never really take it to that.
Let me say younger generation.
Because we influence heavily by what's around us and not focus on what we have. So we most times for carnival, which this is my pet peeve, I just be hearing music that they consider soca, but it's not soca. It's literally a bite of something that happening in Europe or Jamaica or whatever. And because it's playing around the carnival time and a local soca artist singing it, they will consider it
fall in.
soca. But
Theron, what you want to answer now?
No, well, I mean, the reality is our society has always been influenced by foreign music. And that's just part, I mean, most societies are, but our society in particular. Yes, we created calypso. You know, in my travels now and then, people always ask for calypso more than soca. They say they always refer to, calypso. So, you know,
Calypso,
right?
Calypso,
So, and that says something. You know, we may not have the appreciation as we should, but that's where we are. And we're always affected by, our music history has always been affected by the externals. So now when people complain about, and I hear what you're saying about soca song like this, song like that, is because that's what it was all the time, you know. They listen to dance all through the year. So when it come to calypso season, what they're going to write? What your subconscious is taking all the time, you know.
Good night, caller. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Warrior Empress. This is Maria Bola.
Hey, welcome. You're too
Thank
petty.
you. I am so enjoying the discussion this evening.
Thank you very much. Happy that we could give you material to enjoy.
Oh, yes, definitely. So am I just to give my opinion, contribute to the discussion?
Of course, yes. We will be happy to hear.
All right. I think one of the musicians made a point with respect to the because of the whole COVID situation, where you would find now people would exploit the musicians and the creatives even more, because we all know that we weren't getting our fair value anyway pre-COVID. Right? The musicians, the creators, I think are always the ones who would have to, how should I put it? I'm not sure if Rodney was the one making the point.
It was Rodney.
We would be last on the list in terms of who would be paid. Caterers would be paid. Everybody else would be paid, and most likely we may get we'll call you. We'll call you in the week. Right? And with this COVID situation now, you would find that oh gosh, some people just want to exploit that. It's like, well, it's COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
with respect to how much we could really pay.
Like you're hitting them, Rodney Ali, boy, you laughing.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is.
I'm telling you, there's I like to call them the 500 gang.
The 500.
$500 they always want to pay you.
Oh, Lord.
So we have that pressure, so 500, that's the figure now. That's always the figure that people could afford, and I would really like people who are putting shows together. I think the point was made on the show this evening that if I don't have the money to pay the artist, I'm not going to do a show. Because I'm not going to start off by wanting to offer people less than they are worth.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I prefer you tell me. And, actually I did have an experience like that this season where I was cast on a show, and then the person called me back and said, you know what, Maria, so this is what is happening, and due to financial constraints and so, I'm no longer able to keep you on the cast.
Right.
Right? Because I don't want to underpay people for what they are going to do for me. And I truly appreciated that.
Right.
I really, really, really appreciated that. Because people need to understand, well, let me speak for myself. When I come out to do a show, it's not just Maria coming out. Well, you know that, right?
Well, I know that.
Maria, you would know. It's probably Minaj coming, the president coming, Jumbo coming, somebody coming.
And that takes expense.
It takes a lot of work to get into
Right.
that character.
Right.
All them bags they're toting to the people's show. And then for the 500 gang to tell you, well, it's either hold this or we'll call you.
Yeah. Well, Maria, I want to, see if I can get in another call. But thank you very much for your valued contribution. And I think the guests appreciate your contribution as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you so much, my darling.
Okay, bye. Bye-bye. So, Maria echoed your sentiment. She made a point that if you don't have the money to keep a show, don't keep a show.
Yeah.
And let me say straight. Plenty of people wouldn't be able to do anything if we wait on to have that capital in hand to keep a show. I being real, and people know I real. So when I keep a show, it's not that Warrior Empress have money. It's far from that. A lot of times I would have people sponsor me, whether it be the Ministry of Culture, because this is no secret. Everybody has applied for funding. Because most of us, there are artists who have the funding, the sponsors. But a lot of people depend on sponsorship and, persons to help them along the way. For me, and I'm speaking about me and persons who would find themselves in my position, it's not that they don't get paid. Sometimes they don't get paid immediately after the show. And not to pull myself out, I have seen big promoters who you would think have the wherewithal would have people waiting months, sometimes a whole year before they get paid.
Yep.
Right? Everybody ought to be paid when they work. I supporting that. But for me, the small person, it could be challenging to pay right after the show. They might pay 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after. But as I said, the important thing is pay people. At least pay. You understand? So, again, some people, if they go to wait till they have that money, they wouldn't do anything.
I think we also have to explore, as I said, the option of...
So we have 5 minutes, just
Yeah,
say.
the option of having a stuff. The virtual world offers you the ability to have a wider audience. And,
Yes.
and it's just exploring that idea.
And marketing.
Right? Also, I think it also would force you to up
We
your...
have another call coming in.
Up your game, as I say.
Good night, caller. Welcome to the Feminine Drive on Dial.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
I just put on my TV and watching Gael with this show. I am so interested in this show. I didn't know about this show.
Well, it's the first time.
Excellent furniture I'm seeing on the show. And everything is so nice.
Thank you.
You see, right now, I have developed my garage into a little African village. And I am looking for artifacts.
All right.
And I also design furniture from barrels.
Okay.
Wonderful furniture. I am admiring. This is having bamboo.
Yes, it is. And
It's
Uncle,
wonderful.
this is from Indonesia. This is Uncle Errol told me it's from Indonesia.
Imported.
Excuse me?
You imported.
Yes, it came from Indonesia 20 years ago, but after the tsunami, he said they don't make the furnitures anymore because
Oh my goodness.
all the bamboo was uprooted.
Right now, I see the normal pallets that people throw away. Wooden pallets. I make furniture too from that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of work. I'm really interested in this show. When the show will be back on air?
It's every Friday at 7:45. We have different guests every Friday. Okay?
The first Friday?
This is the first Friday, yes.
My goodness, I'm in time. But
Okay.
I'll be tuning in next Friday again. You have a nice day.
Thank you.
You have a nice evening. And thanks for this wonderful show.
No problem. Thanks a lot for the support. Okay.
Bye-bye. You have a nice one.
Bye-bye. So you see? Thank you for that support. So the Feminine Drive, as I said, when the show started last year, September, but it was streaming on Warrior Empress page on Facebook and YouTube channel. So Uncle Errol and Gael family opened their arms to me and I'm here. So every Friday, 7:45. We have another caller. This might be the last caller. Good evening, caller, and welcome to the Feminine Drive. I'm Gael.
Good night, Miss. Is this Warrior Empress?
It is.
They know me on Gael as William. Uncle Harold know me as OB, the outside broadcast director.
Okay.
I have to talk to Dan Juma. I didn't know about this show. I know switch. Getting ready for my 9 o'clock show. And I see the Feminine Drive. But when I watched the number, I realized that it's live in studio.
Yes, it is.
So this will be a regular thing every week.
Every Friday at 7:45 right here with Warrior Empress and her guests.
Niceties in Donkey City. Because in the black coming after.
Yes, man.
Well, I tell you, I have the whole itinerary of Gael.
Yes.
So I love the decor.
Thank you.
That is your doing or Dan Juma's doing?
Well, I like teamwork. So it's courtesy Mode Alive. I have to say special thank you to Mr. Gary Aboud. Right? So the decor that you're seeing, the furnitures is Uncle Errol, and all the other things is Mode Alive. And you know, we put our minds together and we came up with it.
I like the settings. It's beautiful. It's different.
Yes.
It's really different. And excuse me for the guests.
So I'll repeat the names again. It's Mr. Theron Shaw. He is a guitarist, jazz composer, producer, and he's also a music teacher. And we have Mr. Rodney Alexander, bassist. He is also a jazz composer and a producer. Together we have like about 40 years musical experience sitting here.
Alright, well, good. Well, I will. And so you finishing in just in the next 15 minutes?
I'm actually finishing in the next minute.
No, the next minute?
Yes, 7:45 to 8:45. I enable with Eunice in order to get Eunice enough time for the in the block. So I want to creep over in Eunice time.
Listen, not readers. Listen, the nice thing about Gael, our TV can pump you.
Alright, okay.
We don't move on the fly. We are only limited time. That's how we don't operate.
You looking to put me in a bacchanal here, you know?
So, you live there?
I'm not sure because I'm on set now. Alright.
But anyhow, I like the show. All you go ahead.
Nice background.
I'll make sure to tune in next week Friday.
Okay, so thanks a lot for the support. Okay, so folks, that's it. I'm sorry, I know I'm hearing a call coming in. Alright, let me take that last call. Good evening, caller, and welcome. You'll have to make it really quick. I'm sorry, we lost the call. So that's all the time we have. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yep.
And I think it was a really healthy discussion. I feel it had to have a part 2 of this, you know. Yeah, it had to have a part 2 of this discussion because I'm sure we have different perspectives from different musicians, right? I'm unable to take the call. Caller, I'm sorry. I'm really unable to take the call. So, gentlemen, I would like to thank you very much for taking time out your busy schedule to join me here on the Feminine Drive. I really, really appreciate all the information.
So let me drop on in here. So we with the guinea pigs, we were the nine with the guinea pigs. First 2 males and the
That's why we had at this time open up for more calls.
We had to come back
All right.
to make it legit, right?
See, 2 to 1 and no boy, I don't take this. But
Okay, but it's all
we
good.
have more men to come on the Feminine Drive here, but I'm telling all you, more men will be coming, yeah?
It's all good.
We have more men.
It's all
So,
good.
it was
It's
really,
all
really
good.
nice talking with you all.
And important.
And stay tuned. We have up next at 9 o'clock, we have In the Black with me, Warrior Empress and Eunice Peters. So thanks again and enjoy the rest of your Friday evening.
The good Lord never make nothing ugly. In his eyes I know I'm a beauty. Me not care who say they don't like me. Why? I like myself. Eh? Good God, I like myself. I take a selfie. Every morning in the mirror I say hi. I thank the good Lord I'm alive. I give myself a high five. Why? I like myself. Good God, I like myself. I take a selfie. Who make it nice? Jah make I nice. I like myself. You get a horn and you want to dead. I like myself. Hey, good God, tell them I like myself. Take a selfie. Reality. One gone, one come in. Like my sexy thing Kathleen. I bear the cologne and my hair have sheen. Why? I like myself.